This is the Shotgun City Sheriff, the law himself, Clayton Clark.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Kennedy, a.k.a. Mr. Anderson.
This is the young Titan, Aaron Atlas.
Hey, this is Matt Brannigan.
This is the Warbound Hellhound Bo Sword.
This is your favorite drunken pro wrestler, a.k.a. the Bud Light Brawler, Dalton Davis.
This is Lizzie Six.
This is Jake Something.
And this is the jaw-jacking, back-cracking, God created all men equal, and then he made me the sequel, Rohit Raju, and you are listening to the Spot Show Podcast.
Spot Show Podcast.
The Spot Show Podcast.
Spot Show Podcast. Podcast.
The Spot Show Podcast.
Spot Show Podcast. Hell yeah.
The Spot Show Podcast.
The Spot Show Podcast? Yeah, that's right, I stuttered. Shut up.
Mother Nature tried, Madrox.
It tried its best, sir.
Mother Nature tried to keep us away.
Not today.
We ain't going anywhere. Well, today, kind of. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Spot Show Podcast. We are an independent wrestling podcast with a few pit stops along the way. At the top of this, let me just apologize. There was no episode Thursday. And there's now 2 episodes this week, so yay.
We made up for it.
We made up for it. Basically, what happened is our town decided to get throat punched by a supercell. The same thing happened last year, too.
Around the same time.
But the difference then was that at that point, we were every other week, so we were able to kind of rebound from it. Literally, I was in the studio getting ready, getting everything all set up, and I look out my window, and it's immediately black, and then I see lawn chairs slam up against the side of my house, and then I said, yeah, we're not recording, and then the power went out, and then we've had been without power for a couple of days, but we're back.
We're back in business.
Back at it
See,
again.
like, most people, we could have just, like, skipped that whole week, but no, we're giving you guys 2 episodes this week.
Not us. Not us at all. But I'm going to tell you, before we get too much into what we got going on here, just want to let everybody know this episode of the Spot Show Podcast is brought to you by Elite Pro Wrestling and Yoo-Hoo. We're going to hear a little bit more about them later. That is, of course, unless you head on over to patreon.com/MadBash Studios. Back us at that $5 tier. You're going to get Spot Show completely ad-free and 24 hours early at least. There's a bunch of stuff over there on the Patreon. We're going to hear more about that in the plug ski section coming up here in a minute. But here's the thing. I know money can be hard to come by sometimes. Maybe you got storm damage that you got to cover. I don't know. I know. I don't. I'm lucky. I really genuinely am one of the lucky ones.
Very lucky.
Considering my neighborhood, and then you look at me. Hoo boy. Anyway, I know that, money can be tight sometimes. I get that. There's still many free ways that you can support us. You can do that by going over to madbashstudios.com, following any of the links there. That's going to send you to Facebook page. That's going to send you to our Patreon, which there is a free membership, behind the scenes photos for free over there on Patreon. But here's the big one. It's going to show you all of the podcasting platforms. Go to those podcasting platforms. Leave us a 5-star written review. That's really what we like to see over here. Helps us kind of feed the algorithm a little bit if we're going to get a little bit behind that proverbial curtain. That's just the truth of it. We need to feed the algorithm. More eyes on us, the more that we're in the algorithm.
That's our biggest opponent.
Yes, it really is. But again, the big one, patreon.com/MadBash Studios. We've got a lot for everyone over there, even if you sign up for free.
Absolutely, Dickie. But let's talk about the Supercell before we get into anything.
We've already touched on it a little bit.
I know, but I was outside for it.
Were you?
And it sounded like a train was coming straight, and then like this downpour of rain and hell, and I was like, this is not good, brothers.
And here's what's funny about it is that you had texted me earlier in the day, and you were like, man, we're supposed to get some storms. Are you sure that we run a record? And I was like, yeah, sure. I didn't know there was going to be that bad.
I didn't either.
Did not know it was going to be that bad. And for those of you that remember, like I said, we did face very similar storm last year. This one was worse. I think that this one covered a smaller area, but the damage in that small area was pretty bad.
But the power came back a lot sooner than the last one.
Yes,
it was like the city was better prepared.
It was like 2 days, I think. I was without power for 2 days. I was at Mama and Papa Wabash's house. Here's the thing. Papa Wabash was on a fishing trip, so He avoided all of it. So good for him.
Lucky him.
That's working. But yeah, if you're hearing this and you were affected by the storms, hope everything's going good for you. Hope that you're able to bounce back. Hope that you didn't get too much damage. Could be a very small fraction of you that are listening to this that were affected, but that doesn't change the fact that you were affected. So we're thinking about you. Hope that you can get back on your feet. Hope that you can get things rolling for you. We're starting to get back on our feet, starting to kind of get in the groove of things. On top of, I'm about to say something that's going to shock everyone, because this never happens to me.
Oh.
On top of the power outage and the storm and all that, Madrox, I'm getting over being sick.
No way. Dickie Wabash sick?
Dickie the sickly struck again. And it was one of those things of where right as I was getting over being sick is when all these storms and stuff hit. So I didn't really get a chance to get that final oomph of getting the sickness out of me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you didn't get those like rest days.
Yeah, so I was kind of dragging ass for a little bit, but we're back at it. We're in the studio, microphones in hand, headphones on the ears, and we have got the notes in front of us. We're going to get to those notes here in just a minute. We got some plug skis that we want to go ahead and run down for you guys. Now, Untitled Wrestling Commentary Show on the Patreon has been delayed again because of the storms. We promise that we're going to get that up for all of you backers over there on Patreon. That's one of my favorite shows that we're doing right now. Basically,
one of mine too.
Yeah, the last one that we did Abyss versus Mick Foley in a Monsters Ball match, and that was a really, really fun one to watch. The big one, though, this is the major big one right now. As of this podcast, if you're listening to this 2 weeks after, then it's done, expired. You've already missed it. Ascend the Throne is on sale on Patreon right now. It is on sale for half price. That's $4. That's cheaper than the membership on Patreon.
That's $1 a horseman, people.
That's $1 per. That's $1 for Paul Roma. Actually, if you break it down like by all the total horsemen, it's like 25 cents per horseman because there have been a lot of horsemen. 5 cents for Paul Roma. You can go over there. Again, you get it when you join Patreon. You get access to Ascend the Throne, but maybe you don't want to. Plus, this is cheaper. You get the streaming rights to Ascend the Throne. You'll be able to stream it whenever, wherever you want. There was one plug ski that I was going to be making, and that was that we were going to be having a new episode of MadBash Wrestling Uncut. Sadly, we do not have that. Before we get too far into this, I just want to send a shout out to Dalton Davis, who got injured in his match this past weekend. It's not my business to talk about the severity of the injury or any of that, just that Dalton, get feeling better. Hate to see your brother down and out.
And we love you, brother.
We love
Most
you, man.
importantly.
We know that you are going to bounce back from this, and you are going to be stronger than ever, because that's what Dalton Davis does. Now, this isn't one of those just pour some Bud Light on it and you're good to go. No, Dalton's going to have a little...
This is a severe injury.
Yeah, this is a severe injury. To put it bluntly, Dalton's got a little bit of a rough road ahead of him, but he's got the MadBash boys backing him, and I know that he's got all of you lovely, lovely fans that are supporting him. So go send Dalton some love, best wishes, all of that. Dalton, get back to it. The car load is not going to be the same without
Not at
you.
all.
So that's going to do it for the plug ski section. Actually, no, it's not. We've got a couple of dates that we need to talk about here that are coming up. Let me go to my events so I can remember these dates. Not prepared, brother.
This Saturday we got Elite, brother.
Well, no, actually, we since this is going up, like we've already Elite.
Oh,
has already
yeah.
happened. Yeah, we're recording this before Elite. The next show that you can see us at, Friday, July 17th, Envision Wrestling presents Fair and Square 3. Now, that's a special one for one big instance. We've got a bunch of MadBash boys on that show. We've got Clayton Clark is going to be defending his Envision tag team titles. You've got Colby Jack on that show. Jared Savage versus Zodiac is happening.
Monster versus Monster, and I can't wait.
Monster, man. I am very excited. That's one that I've been wanting to see for a very long time. But the big one, of course, we have got the MadBash Wrestling Championship match. Jay Silva versus Chris Cutler. And I want to
Dickie.
tell all of you right now, if you have not been seeing what is happening on social media between these two, you are missing out, because there is a meme war. The likes have never been seen before. Man, Jay Silva is going for the jugular on Chris Cutler with this.
I mean, Silva started out with just a little promo, and now it's escalated into full-blown shots at each other through social media posts.
Through memes, man. Memes. They make the world go round. Saturday, July 27th, we've got EPW Red, White, and Bruised at the Odin Community Center. MadBash Championship is going to be on the line there. Will it be Chris Cutler or will it be Jay Silva? We don't know, but we do know that an open challenge has been issued. As of this recording, no one has answered that open challenge. So maybe by the time this goes up to the public, that's already been happened. So insert name. Good luck, I guess I should say. But that's coming up here in about a month from now. Bunch of wrestling coming up here.
Oh, yeah.
Bunch of wrestling coming up here.
Just wait till we announce all the August dates.
Ooh, boy. So, that's next month. That's July.
Yes, sir.
That's the last 2 weeks of July. We're in the now. And right now, we've got a little bit of a review ski for you guys. Haven't done one of these in a while. I don't think we've done one this year, have we?
No. Maybe one episode of Raw, I think.
Oh, I think we did Invasion. Was Invasion this year?
Yes.
Doesn't matter. Point is, we are back at it again with another review and another episode of Raw. And this is a very special episode of Raw. And I explained it on the last episode of Spotsky. The reason that this is so special is because I was at this Raw. I know. I'm so full of myself that we have to talk about an episode of Raw where I was. But no, it all kind of ties in too, because all of the news has come out recently about WWE's deal with Indianapolis. You know, Rumble is coming, Survivor Series is coming, SummerSlam is coming, and the big one, WrestleMania is coming. But here's the big thing that I think a lot of people are overlooking with this. A 2-night SummerSlam. That's never happened.
No. This is the first year they're doing it in Minnesota, I believe, right?
Are they
next
doing
next
it?
year, next year.
Are
Not
they
this
doing
year.
it? Yeah, because this year's in Cleveland, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot where they announced it was from. Don't quote me on the Minnesota part.
Boy, Minnesota just screams summer to me. Sure does.
SummerSlam.
Sure does. But no, it's apropos because, you know, Cambridge Fieldhouse at the time, this was the Conseco Fieldhouse. This is, of course, Raw from November 15th of 2004. Like I said, this was a very special Raw that I went to. I was there with my wonderful, wonderful brother. But again, there is something special about this Raw that we're going to get to.
Was this your 13th-year-old Dickie Wabash screaming from the rafters?
I was 13. But we are going to get into that, about why it's special, as we go on with the review.
Did you at least have good seats, though?
I mean, they were fine. They weren't nosebleeds, but they weren't, you know, club area seats or whatever they call that.
They weren't camping out in front of the Hallman Center for third row seats for a house show special.
Sure wasn't. But yeah, so like I said, I got surprised with these tickets maybe a month or so before. I was Logan's age, I believe. I was 13. This is in 2004, so do the math. Yeah, I would have been 13. We go. I think I left school early. I don't necessarily remember.
You let wrestling affect your grades.
Well, we'll get there.
Shame on you.
So, no, I did not leave wrestling early. I think it was like one of those things that, like, right after I got off school, though, we were on the road. So my brother took me, my older brother. Shout out to Mike Wabash. Lovely, lovely guy. My dad had just bought a brand new truck, and he was like, yeah, you guys can go ahead and take it up there, you know, get some miles on it, get it going, you know. We're like, hell yeah, I'm excited. And I went into that show with two goals in mind, because you got to look at the time This was 2004, so Eugene was hot as could be. So I wanted to see Eugene, and I wanted to see Edge. Those are the only two things that I wanted to see. Here's another thing that was special about this show. This is after Survivor Series. This is the Raw after Survivor Series. So, what made that special is, back then, if you remember, they didn't immediately post results on .com.
No.
And the internet was not as prevalent as it is now. You know, you can go to these websites, and there's a dozen websites that are giving you live minute-by-minute updates, or you can go to some stream sites that are questionable in legality. Dickie Wallace don't know how to do that. I did not get the pay-per-view, so I didn't know what the results of this pay-per-view were going into this show. But what made this show special is that the week before, Eric Bischoff had announced, I'm going on a 4-week vacation. And the winners of the 4-on-4 Survivor Series team match, the main event, you guys are going to be general managers for 4 weeks. So the teams were Evolution, this is Triple H, Batista, Ric Flair, and Gene Snitsky.
Of all people.
Versus Chris Benoit, again, discretion with Benoit, Chris Jericho, Randy Orton, and Maven, of all people. The winners would go on, they would be general manager for the next month, while Eric Bischoff, old Eazy-E, is on vacation. And naturally, I wanted the baby faces to win.
Everyone did.
But I didn't know. And I remember getting to the arena and I talking to him. I was like, dude, oh yeah, it's, the good guys won. And I was like, oh, I hope Jericho is the general manager tonight. Sure wasn't. It was Maven. So you might know about this match because Maven went into great detail on his boring ass fucking YouTube channel. I'm calling it what it is.
You think it's boring?
So then what we did was this. Now let me talk about me drop kicking The Undertaker for 20 minutes.
Here's why I quit hanging out with Randy Orton and quit talking to him. Because his career went one way and I got fired.
We're going to get into him and Orton.
I'm just going to go on this podcast here for 45 minutes talking about stories, and at the end just say, oh, we fell out of contact. That's why we quit talking to each other. But
Raven,
thanks for watching.
All I'm saying, you started off good. You had an incredible run with your YouTube channel, but at some point, Maven, you're going to run out of shit to talk about. You can only expose the business so much, Maven. Before.
And he wasn't in there for a long enough cup of coffee to have all these great stories.
Speaking of a cup of coffee, this hazelnut coffee, good shit.
I'm going to have to go grab some of that during break.
Really need it. So anyway, yeah, you heard Maven talk about this match because this is where I got my receipt from Gene Snitsky. And sure enough, Maven had the big fucking bandage on his forehead during this Raw.
Did Maven have more than 5 matches or appearances in his career without a bandage on his head?
I don't know, but that's the thing that was funny about Maven is he was bald, so naturally, he always had that gimmick.
Every time you see him, he had a fucking bandage on his head.
Yes, he did. We're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, though. We're going to go ahead and get into this. Again, this is live in Indianapolis at the Conseco Fieldhouse. At the time, it was called.
And
Conseco
it kicks off with the Indiana hometown boy.
It does, but before that, I just want to say this intro,
Childhood.
That's my intro.
Yes.
Not the World Wrestling Federation for over 50 years
in sports and entertainment.
No, this is my
edgy.
And then we start off in the ring. We got La Resistance in the ring. We've got Sylvain Grenier and Indiana hometown boy Rob Conway. They're in there and they're waving
the French Canadian flags.
Waving their French flags, and they're about to talk. And then here comes Maven with that wrestler band-aid on his head.
And a silky t-shirt.
And a very silky t-shirt, a very baggy silky t-shirt, dressed like Jason V showing up to a Thursday Night Throwdown. That's how Maven was dressed. That is a very
he learned from the greatest, man.
Absolutely. Of course he did. So Maven comes out and he welcomes everyone. He says, I'm the GM because my team won at Survivor Series. Of course, he said the other three were Jericho, Benoit, and Orton. And then Maven just pretty much kind of fucks off La Resistance. They're just in the ring. And then he starts running down the matches that we're going to be seeing tonight. And this first match that he announced, I remember a 13-year-old Dickie Wabash hearing this announcement and losing his goddamn mind, because we are going to get Shelton Benjamin and Chris Benoit versus a reuniting Edge and Christian.
For the first time in 3 years.
It was 3 years, yeah. And I'm thinking, holy fuck, let's go. That's what I want to see. I love ENC, love Edge, love Christian. And then I wasn't at that age where I really fully looked at it and realized how fucking goated of a team Shelton and Benoit would be.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Incredible. And when we get to that match, man, it was so good. We're also getting Coach versus good old JR. And boy, JR is not happy about this.
No.
He's just, what the hell, Maven? By the way, this is the commentary setup that's by the entrance ramp. Always loved that setup.
See, here's the thing with me. When he's announcing all this stuff, I'm like, why the fuck's Maven the GM? Like, I had no idea about the Survivor Series match before because I went to it blind.
Yeah, and they didn't do
no one talked about it.
They didn't do a rundown of it, which is so bizarre to do because usually after pay-per-views, they would always do that rundown of like, hey, here's, it was always they always had that bum, 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 bum. You know the song I'm
yeah,
talking
like
about.
I paused it perfectly on the Spike TV sign because I was like, oh shit, the Spike TV era.
Yeah.
But I was like, is Dickie Wabash going to make me literally go back and watch weeks of Raws and pay-per-views leading up to this so I can figure out why the fuck Maven's GM?
Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. I'm also still trying to remember the context of why the fuck Maven? Like, the roster was so fucking deep back then. Like, why wasn't it Shelton or somebody?
Who the fuck knows,
Who
dude?
the hell knows? We're also getting Christy Hemme versus Stacy Keibler in a lingerie pillow fight, and Jerry Lawler gets so erect that he breaks the announce table.
Oh, I know why it was Maven.
Why?
Because they had a little commercial for Tough Enough 2. I gotta hype that first round winner, brother.
Yeah, so let me go into the production of this Tough Enough 2 commercial for 20 minutes. That's not all the matches that we're getting tonight, Madrox. No.
Not at all.
The main event tonight for the World Heavyweight Championship, Maven versus Triple H.
And the crowd went mild.
Because I do remember this time period that was the thing that all of these general managers would do, is they put them in a match against Triple H for the world title, because of course, why wouldn't you? And plus, this is peak Evolution Triple H.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're just months away from Batista winning the Rumble here and turning babyface. We are months removed from Randy Orton losing the world title.
This is White Boots Triple H.
This is White Boots Triple H, man. This is
the shovel.
This is a fucking era of WWE that I remember so fondly. Just hating Evolution, hating Triple H, loving Randy Orton because he left Evolution, loving Batista, thinking he was the fucking greatest thing ever because he said fuck you to Triple H.
Little side note, Dickie used to walk through the hallways of high school doing the Randy Orton pose every time you walk through a double
Nothing
door.
you can say is going to change what you done to me. So then Maven looks at La Resistance, and he was like, those belts are on the line right now. And they're like, oh, okay, I guess we're doing a fucking tag match here. So it's Rhino and Tajiri and Eugene and Regal.
What
so this is a triple threat tag
pairing,
match.
though.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you put Regal with Tajiri?
That's even weirder. But they were together during
They were
the invasion.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were together during the invasion. By the way, Rhino and Tajiri are coming to the ring. Rhino's music here is just fucking incredible. JR is just ranting and raving because he has got to face Coach tonight, and he is not happy. He is not happy about that. But what am I supposed to wrestle in? Like, he is beside.
Do you think that was like a rib on JR?
I think everything during this time period, they never clued JR into anything that was
Because
happening.
he was like physically like upset about this.
Everybody knew what was going on except for Jim Ross. I feel like that's just something that they would have done to him.
Exactly. Dude.
Oh, by the way, I want to back up a little bit here. I don't remember much about like the pre-show and stuff. I know that they filmed a couple of heat matches, but there was a dark match this night, and I don't remember who they wrestled, but a yet to be called up and still trying to figure out their gimmick, M&M.
Really?
Yeah, with Melina, they had mismatch gear. They weren't dressed. They weren't there yet. They weren't really M&M yet.
Just testing the waters.
Just testing the waters, see if they can get anything out of them. But yeah, I meant to throw that out there, but this is such an exciting episode of Raw, I forgot. So Rhino starts out with Rob Conway. They're just kind of doing some of that thing that we call wrestling. And then Eugene and Tajiri gets tagged in. And let me just say, I did not know that I needed Eugene versus Tajiri.
So good.
Dude, they start trading pinfalls and the fucking referee's blown up. 1, 2, oh, 1, 2, oh, 1, 2. Eugene back then was a damn good fucking wrestler.
And you got to give credit to Eugene. Like, he came out there in his best Chris Cutler gear. Like,
he was straight up wearing
fucking tribute to Chris Cutler.
He was. Long may I reign. By the way, I have a funny Eugene story. So, I was on a show with him, and they got pizza for all the boys. There was like a bunch of pizzas and stuff. So Eugene walks up and he goes, "Kind of pizza's this? Pepperoni? All right, cool." And then just walks off with his own whole pizza.
He was hungry, man.
He took his own pizza, man. What a dick. But no, man, it was so cool. So the shirt that Eugene wore to the ring, I bought that shirt that night.
Did you?
That was the one shirt I wanted. I mean, they had other ones, but I was like, no, I want that Eugene shirt. I think I bought a Eugene 8x10 as well. I don't remember. But I definitely do. I do remember getting that t-shirt because it's important later. So then at one point, Eugene goes for a monkey flip and Eugene like handsprings out of it. And I was like, dude, that is such a smart counter. Like, we need to see more of that. Like, that's what I'm saying here is that like Eugene was good.
Eugene was goated.
Yes, he really was good. Like, Eugene is in one of my favorite wrestling matches of all time, and that's him versus Freight Train. And I'm not joking. I'm dead serious. It's one of the best main events I've ever seen.
You gotta give credit to Jerry, though, in there, too.
Oh, I'm gonna give credit to
He was
Tajiri.
fucking working.
Yeah, he was. So Rob Conway gets a blind tag in. Eugene's like kind of celebrating around. He's pretending to be an airplane. Rob Conway blind tags in. During this, King is just being so fucking horny. Just talking about, he's like, "Oh, Christy Hemme, I'm so ready for Christy Hemme." And then JR just looks at him and says, "King, this is a title match, damn it." It's like, I feel like that was real JR.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, JR was on fire that night.
He always was. This time period of JR from like 97 to like 06. It was so good. It was just so good. This is elimination, by the way. Rhino and Tajiri are eliminated after Rhino goes for a spear. Conway... Do what now?
You gonna cut out the part that Rhino got that tag in and came in just throwing fucking fist, going straight for stiff?
Absolutely, he did.
He fucked everyone up in there before he got eliminated.
Yeah, but Rhino misses the spear, walks into the boot from Conway. And this is what's really cool about this match is that, like, this is a good opener. Like, this is a hot opener.
I have one problem with this match up until this point.
What's that?
There was no tarantula.
There wasn't a tarantula, was there?
No tarantula, no octopus. I was very sad.
Wow, what did I just watch recently that had a tarantula in it? I watched something and I thought it was this, maybe. I don't remember. I've seen a Tajiri something recently and he did a tarantula. Doesn't matter.
Invasion.
No, this was like within the last couple of weeks or so. Oh. So Eugene just says, "Fuck Dwayne Johnson. I'm using a rock bottom as a double down." Regal comes in with a hot tag. Man, there's a cutoff with some distraction bullshit. Regal comes in, hits the knee trembler, goes for the pin, but right as he's about to go for it, he points at Eugene and he's like, "No."
The kid gets it.
Tags in Eugene. Eugene comes in, people's elbow. 1, 2, 3, William Regal and Eugene are your new world tag team champions.
See, that also makes me feel like it was another rib behind the scenes. Because did you see Eugene's actual like face when Regal's like, nope, tagging Eugene?
Could have been. You
That's
never
what I'm
know.
saying, dude. Like, I feel like everyone was getting fucked with during this show.
Yeah. So back from break, before that, they bring kids into the ring and they're all celebrating, and Eugene's doing the junkyard dog
They
dance that he would
tripped
always do.
a Make-A-Wish kid in the middle of a Raw ring. Like, that's a lawsuit, sirs.
They kind of did. So when I told Jason V that I was something special about this Raw, he was like, I was expecting you to be one of the kids that
You're the one that tripped,
I'm
weren't
the
you?
one that tripped. That's me. That's the story. We're getting there. Trust me. And it is a good one. So we go to commercial, back from break. Regal is backstage with Maria. He's just talking about how proud he is of Eugene. Eugene comes in and he's celebrating and he dumps chocolate milk all over both of them.
While she's wearing a white shirt.
William Regal is just like, oh boy, like this is definitely something. You can tell Regal's like quasi turned on by it. Really,
you can tell it's
weird.
a Vince McMahon card. Chocolate milk on a white t-shirt. Yeah. Never been done. Such good shit.
There. You're going to dump True Moo on her. Yeah. And Regal's going to be horny. So Maven's in the back walking, and Candice Michelle is flirting her ass off with him. And Maven just looks happy to be there. You know what I mean?
I think Maven was more flirting with Candace.
Or, I mean, tomato.
Yeah.
So Maven goes into his private quarters for the evening, and there stands Triple H making a cup of coffee. He turns around, and he makes all these offers, and he's like, hey, I think you should join Evolution. Like, you take the spot. This is a gimme. Join Evolution. He's pretty much doing his best to just talk him out of the match, pretty much is what's going on here. And Triple H is just gaslighting the fuck out of Maven. Triple H does a lot of gaslighting in a lot of these old reviews that we do.
While holding his Starbucks cup before Game of Thrones made it famous.
Yeah, exactly. So he tells him, he's like, man, I, need to blah, blah, blah. The thing that I noticed, this segment went on so fucking long.
You know why it went on long, though? 2 weeks from now, Maven's going to hear this podcast and do the review of the night he hosted Monday Night Raw. And he's going to be like, well, you see what happened there, guys, was...
We went off script a little bit.
What would have happened if I did, in fact, turn and join Evolution?
So let's look at some alternate history.
The MadBash verse would have spiraled out of control.
That's the universe where Dickie Wabash is living his best life. Yeah, pretty much that's just it right there. Triple H is just telling him, he's like, hey, this is, you need to join Evolution. There's a good opportunity for you, blah, blah, blah. Don't take the match. All that, all
you
that
know
jazz.
whose fault it is that Maven didn't instantly turn and join Evolutions?
Well, Randy Orton later.
No, it was Devon Dudley's.
Oh.
Maven has told us multiple times that Devon was his driving partner. And Devon gave him the best advice. So I guarantee he called Devon, and Devon's like, don't do it, motherfucker. Testify. And Maven's like, Devon, I'll tell you what. We'll make a YouTube show about this 6 years down the road.
Mass transit, a murder that almost took place in a wrestling ring.
I wasn't there, but here's my recollection of it.
What was okay, look, here's the thing. I know that we're nobody compared to what Maven is doing, but Maven, all he did was fucking drop kick The Undertaker. That's all he did. He had an okay match with Triple H. We're going to get there. But
he won tough enough.
He did win tough enough. Woo-hoo. But that's the thing about it, is that it's like Maven is really scraping the bottom of the barrel. And I'm going to give Maven his flowers here. He has figured out the YouTube algorithm.
Oh, yeah.
Because you cannot go anywhere in the wrestling YouTube without seeing Maven.
Maven, give us your pointers, brother. We're just doing these as jokes.
But at a certain point, it's like Maven, we don't care.
My big thing is wasting 30 minutes for him just to be like, there's no real story here, but that's just the way life goes.
Exactly.
But after this segment, though, Dickie Wabash, the Monster Job Search play of the week.
Oh, let's talk about it. It's Lita beating the shit out of Trish Stratus.
Fuck Lita beating the shit out of Trish Stratus. Monster Job Search. Like, fuck Indeed, bring that shit back.
Monster Job Search, yeah. Yeah, remember, like, we're about to see a Stridex commercial.
Yeah,
like
clear
dude,
soul.
Like, dude, that's the thing, and I think that you and I talked about this on our separate time, not with microphones, that I wish that going back and watching these old Raws or SmackDowns or whatever, that we had commercials.
That's when I texted you as soon as I finished this one. I was like, dude, they need the commercials put back in here.
Oh, absolutely.
That could be a third podcast down the road for us, because I could review those at nauseum, dude. Like, that would be fun.
Or ad nauseum.
Yes.
Whatever. So now we got Lita versus Molly Holly. And Lita's in a weird place here because this is post Not My Fault, but pre-Edge. Like, she's not joined up with Edge yet. She's coming out of the Snitsky storyline.
This is like confused Lita.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is what's confusing about it, is that, like, Lita's kind of portrayed as a bit of a heel, but, like, so is Trish. And, like, Trish has got on the fucking face guard because Lita fucked her
The
up.
undashing mask.
Yeah, this is dashing Trish Stratus. You know, this is just...
This is straight, like, Hot Topic Lita phase. Like, where she didn't fit in. Matt was out injured, so he couldn't sew her pants, so she'd had to just go buy trip pants off the shelf.
Yeah. Yeah, this is... You know, Lita wins with a rear naked choke. This is just a basic Divas match. There's not really much to talk about with it.
You got to give it up for Molly Holly, though. Short hair Molly Holly before the big booty gimmick. Phenomenal.
Oh, Molly Holly has always been really good.
Oh, yeah. But, like, this was her, like, prime to me.
Yes. Yeah.
When she was out there just as a badass.
Yep. Yeah, that was really good. This is a really good era of Molly Holly. So like I said, Trish comes out. She's kind of distracting Lita. Molly goes to attack Lita. Lita fucks her off. And it's just like, what was the point of having Molly attack Lita? Because it's just nothing. And then Lita leaves Trish laying. It's just a whole fucking mess. Really,
Trish's underwhelming tantrum she tried throwing after the match. Like, the worst acting tantrum I've ever seen. Like, Stacy Keibler did a better job being a baby killer in WCW than fucking Trish did tonight.
The segment of David Flair distraught over fucking Miss Hancock, that was better acting than what Trish Stratus is doing here. Like, here's the thing, man. Like, WWE loves to have a bit of revisionist history with everything that they do. There's no shocker there. But, like, you look back and they talk about the Divas era, and they always talk about, like, oh, there was the pillow fights and the bra and panties matches and stuff like that. But the one shining light was Trish and Lita. And it's like, this segment was fucking awful. Like, sure, there were definitely diamonds in the rough, but don't act like that they were putting on 5-star matches.
Everyone credits Trish and Lita for,
the
like...
bar was so low.
But to me, Molly, Holly, and Jacqueline...
Yes.
...were the workhorses of that time frame.
Victoria.
Yeah.
Jazz.
But Victoria was more later on. And Jazz was only there for a cup of coffee as well. Yeah. But, like, Jacqueline and Molly Holly, like, the longest tenured out of that whole group. Like, those two.
Like I said, just revisionist history, man. Raw Interactive is on screen now. Will Maven join Evolution? We'll find that out later. We cut back, and old Coach is in the ring. And he's ready for his match with JR.
Insulting the hometown sports team because that's the only heat he ever got.
It's the only thing. That's easy heel heat, brother. Always is, always will be. So JR gets up from the commentary table. He marches down to that ring. And he gets up there and
Time out. Well, hold on, dude.
Up to Coach like he's really
hold on,
him.
dude. Tell me that Jim Ross did not look like a grown Bobby Hill storming to that ring to tell Coach, that's my purse. I don't know you.
That's what I'm saying.
Dude, he had that Bobby Hill fucking face like planted like the non-HD era of WWE and just power walking like a motherfucker.
Bruv, he was ready to throw the fuck down. He might have been not happy about it leading up to
He's like, this is a shoot, bitch, and I'm going to take your ass to some propane.
Oh my God. It was fucking, this was great. But before anything can happen, Maven comes out. Forgot his name for a minute. He says, hey, I didn't mean JR.
No,
The
he
J, the J is silent, but there is an R. An R, K, O. Here comes Randy Orton, and this is burning my light, Randy Orton.
This is the weirdest gear version of Randy Orton ever.
I was going to bring that up. What the fuck is he wearing? He has the most basic indie gear on that I have ever seen. And this Orton, like when he was in this babyface run, was so fucking bad because he had yet to really find himself as a babyface. And he was just...
He's throwing everything at the wall.
Naturally a dick. So they do basic, just kind of fucking around cat and mouse with Coach. Orton obviously goes over with an RKO, but the way he delivers the RKO is so good because like Coach turns around and Orton's standing there. Orton cocks his head and a smile, jumps up, RKO.
This is Perk Orton, as I call him.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Around the time that this was happening in the crowd, I started to notice a little bit of a tingle in my head, like I could have a headache or something coming on. That's important to remember.
Foreshadowing.
So we cut to the back. Todd Gresham is back there with the least amount of charisma I've ever seen on a human being.
Was that Todd Gresham?
Yeah.
I thought it was Todd Pettengill.
Yeah, no, Todd Pettengill. Fucks, dude. Todd Pettengill had fucking charisma. Shout out to Scott and Todd, man. Like, fuck, man. All of my O&A fans out there, they know old Todd Pettengill. Fucking Jocktober, baby. That's the good shit. Go back and listen to some Scott and Todd. But yeah, Todd Gresham's there. Just had a Todd Pettengill rant about fucking Scott and Todd on this podcast. What the fuck are we doing?
It's 2024, brother.
Dude, Todd Gresham just has no fucking charisma at all. He's just like, I'm here with Edge and Christian.
It's like Josh Matthews.
It's Christian. They're bickering back and forth, talking about how, one's better than the other. Christian drops actually a really, really good line. He says, don't talk too much and strain your voice box and miss 6 months. This is the Edge where he feels like everything is owed to him. Like he feels like that he...
this is the paranoid Edge.
Yes, this was a good Edge. This is pre-rated R Superstar.
This is the worst gear Edge.
Oh, terrible gear.
But one of the good Edge personas.
Yes. This was a really good Edge. He had just written his book. His book had come out. I did a book report on Edge, by the way. That's a true story.
That's how you got the tickets.
Yeah, exactly. But no, so Christian leaves and he's like, oh, what? You want the old Edge and Christian? He's like, I'll tell you what. How about we do a 5-second pose for old time's sake? And he counts down on five fingers, 1, 2, 3, and then the final one is the middle finger.
And they cut it off.
And they cut to the fucking worst match graphic that I have ever seen. What the fuck is that Benoit graphic? He's like,
It's nostalgia, brother.
It's fucking awful.
This is back in the time frame where the match graphics had like the little 3-second like movement before him, and then they would just freeze frame him fucking anywhere.
Yeah, but these didn't have it. Like these were just
these were like just pause and take this picture of it and put it together.
Because of the way that they used it. Like normally they would show motion graphics, but they flash it up on screen real quick, and it was not good.
He was constipated. Leave the guy alone.
So we come back from break. Maven and Randy Orton are backstage. I had to rewatch this segment a couple of times because the logic in it did not make sense to me. And then the minute that I realized what it meant, I was like, I'm a fucking idiot. Like, how did I not get this right away? Randy Orton says that, like, joining Evolution's like making a deal with the devil. But Maven's like, oh, it could be, or no, he says that challenging for the title is an opportunity of a lifetime. Basically, it's like if Triple H, so the Maven tells him, if Triple H is champion and you're not, but if somebody else is, you have a chance. I was like, I didn't get that at first. I think it was the way Maven said it. Like, I think it was the way that he explained it. But basically, what they're trying to do here is Maven is trying to make it seem like Orton is saying, I have a better chance at beating you for the title
than I do
Triple H. But in reality, he's just looking out for his buddy.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why they don't talk anymore. Let's dive into that.
What would driving a car?
But yeah, I don't like at first it didn't make sense to me. I had to rewatch it, and then it started to make sense to me. I think it's just the way that Maven explains it was really weird. Really
just the way
weird.
he worded it.
Am I wrong, or was it hard?
I got it the first time.
Okay, well,
I'm just trying to make you feel better about your fucking self.
Good. So it is now time for Edge and Christian versus Chris Benoit and Shelton Benjamin. This is the first time I have ever seen this match. But I know what you're probably thinking here. Dickie Wabash, if this is the first time you've watched this match, weren't you at this show?
Wasn't this the match you wanted to see?
Well, it's a good question. It's a couple of good questions. If I wanted to see this match, why is this the only time I've ever seen this match? If I was there, how is this the first time I've watched this match? Well, I say we get into that after we hear a word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Yoo-Hoo, a product of Keurig Dr. Pepper. So here's what I want you to picture right now, right? You're on a long road trip. You're driving along and you're thinking, man, I could really go for a nice, sweet, refreshing drink. You pull into a gas station and the first thing you see is Yoo-Hoo. And I got to tell you, grabbing that Yoo-Hoo, that's going to be the right decision every single time. Yoo-Hoo is available in a variety of flavors, vanilla, strawberry, but here at MadBash, our personal favorite is chocolate. I'm going to tell you about Yoo-Hoo a little bit more, right? We absolutely love this stuff here at MadBash. We cannot get enough of it. And you know what? We're going to sweeten the pot a little bit here thanks to Yoo-Hoo. If you see us at a wrestling show and you buy a MadBash wrestling sticker, you are entitled to one free bottle of Yoo-Hoo on MadBash Studios. Limit one per customer while supplies last. Now, come on, guys. You can't beat that deal with a stick. Again, MadBash would like to thank Yoo-Hoo so much for sponsoring this episode. This episode of the Spot Show podcast is also brought to you by Elite Pro Wrestling. Here's the thing about Elite Pro Wrestling, right? You have them to thank for the Spot Show podcast in many different ways. Elite Pro Wrestling gave MadBash Studios our first opportunity when we decided to come back into the wrestling business. So Elite Pro Wrestling is one of the OG backers. We love Elite Pro Wrestling so much. They are putting on incredible shows every single month. You should absolutely be there, whether it be in Odin, Indiana, Washington, Indiana. We would love to see you in the crowd there at Elite Pro Wrestling for every single thing that you need to know about EPW. Head on over to EliteProfessionalWrestling.com. There you are going to find dates, events, links, everything that you need to know about EPW. Thank you so much for being a day one sponsor, EPW. We very much appreciate it. As I said, I went to this Raw with my brother. This was a really good Raw. Had a hell of a time. Got my Eugene shirt. Had my sign that says HHH Fears RKO. Sign of the night.
Oh, no.
It was the sign of the night.
No.
Then we're about halfway through the show right now, I'd say, right?
A little over half.
A little over half. Like I said, about right around the time of the Trish and Lita and then Coach and JR stuff, I started to get a little bit of a pain in my head. And at the time, I would get really bad migraine headaches. And I knew this. So I had prepared. I had taken pills to prepare for it and everything to get ready. Then all of a sudden, pyro goes off for Edge coming to the ring. Which, by the way, that fucking pyro. I looked to my brother and I said, hey, I don't know if I can stay. He said, are you kidding me? And I said, I have a splitting headache. We need to leave. As Edge is coming to the ring, little Dickie Wabash is guided through the crowd by his brother. We go through the atrium. I'm in tears because my head hurts so bad. If any of you listening to this have never had a migraine, good. Especially when you have chronic migraines like me. Good news is I've suffered from chronic migraines my entire life. The good news is in my older age, I've finally figured out a treatment for them. I don't get them near as much as I do. So not that you care, but
I care, Dickie. I care.
Knock wood. I haven't had one in a while. This bad anyway. So we get in the truck. We're driving back. I'm laying down. And again, we're in Indy. So we get on I-70. We get just outside of Plainfield. Look to my brother. No, my eyes were still closed. I lean over and I go, I don't feel very good. Now, for those of you that have a queasy stomach, trigger warning here. You might want to check out of the next 5 minutes of this podcast.
Is it going to go that long?
Dude.
Strap in, people.
Before I could get, I don't feel very good out, I sat up in my chair like the fucking Undertaker and projectile vomited all over the dash of my dad's brand new truck. Puke went into the vents of the brand new truck.
What in the hell is your and your mother's problem with your dad's vehicles?
I don't know. So, all over my brand new Eugene shirt. I thought it's ruined. So my brother putts into Plainfield, pulls into a gas station, cleans it up as the best he can, which shout out to my brother. He's a saint on earth. And I am just curled up in the fetal position in this truck. I don't remember if I vomited again. I don't remember that part. I do remember vomiting when I got home. Because I don't know to this day, like I know that with severe migraines, you can vomit. But I don't know if I got food poisoning or something, because we ate at Cracker Barrel before, and I had the chicken fried steak. Now, chicken fried steak is one of my go-to things now. I love chicken fried steak. But twice in my life, I've gotten food poisoning from chicken fried steak, and I've not been able to eat it for a while. White gravy, specifically.
Just the white gravy. It's your trigger factor.
Yeah. Like right now, even just thinking about it.
Doesn't make any queasy.
No. French onion soup. I don't know if that's what got me sick when I was in Canada, but still, yeah, French onion soup is a hard one.
You know what
talk
I
about.
want to personally think it was?
What?
The fact that they dubbed over Edge's theme music at this time for his Alter Bridge theme.
Yeah, because at that time, he was still coming out to Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget.
Maybe that's what made you sick, because you were like, when the network comes out.
Yeah. Maybe. In 10 years, whenever the fucking network comes out. But I'll never forget looking over my shoulder, get that last glimpse of Edge getting into the ring as Rob Zombie was playing.
You mean Alter Bridge?
No, it was Rob Zombie.
No, the network says you're a liar.
Oh, fuck, I am lying. I'm sorry. So now you know why this episode of Raw is so special to me and important to me. Not only does it tie in with Maven, because we're getting ready to do enough of this, not only does it tie in because of all the news with Indianapolis, but I was at this show and I had to leave because I got a migraine headache and vomited all over my dad's brand new truck.
That poor man needs like to get divorced and like emancipated from you kids.
Oh my God. My poor mother had to go clean the truck out. When we got home, I was just curled up in bed. I think I vomited a couple of more times. I was sick well into the next day. Then you have to go to school on Wednesday, and everyone's like, how was Raw? How was Raw?
Well, I didn't get to finish it. That came out with fucking Alter Bridge fucking 10 years before it was recorded.
I know. And my mom had recorded Raw so that she could try to see us or whatever. And I was like, Mom, I don't even know if I can go back and watch it. I was like, it just makes me so sad.
Did it make you sad watching it now?
No, because enough time has passed.
Okay.
Again, but yeah, this is the first time I've gone back and watched this Raw. Like, I have vivid memories of this Raw. of La Resistance in the ring, of Maven and Triple H backstage, of Randy Orton RKOing Coach. A lot of this stuff I do vividly remember. Do not remember the Trish and Lita stuff at all.
Flash in a paint. He probably went to the bathroom during that, or getting a souvenir.
Who knows? I don't really know. But yeah, so there you guys have it. That's why this episode of Raw is important.
All right, back to the important news other than your fucking like food poisoning issues. Christian came out to the best theme song he's ever had.
So we're just going to move right into it on that, right?
Yes, we are, sir. Tell me I'm fucking wrong, because I will fight your grandma over arguing with this. This is the best Christian theme song, hands down, of all fucking time.
I agree. This era was just really good for theme music, I think.
Like when they redid it with the guys singing it, whichever band that was.
Story of the Year.
Yeah, no. The chick original version, hands down.
If you close your eyes, your light will make it to reveal. This is the best. And Christian's gear, by the way, we were talking about how Edge's gear was not great. Someone else we said their gear was not great.
Orton. Captain Charisma gear was on point.
The Captain Charisma gear was on point. I would say everyone except for Edge had incredible fucking gear.
I just never liked
match.
the Edge face on the side of his pants.
It was weird.
It looks like an ugly ass stencil of himself.
What's Edge's best gear?
Ooh.
Because he has good gear.
He does.
It's gotta be, for me, it's two. The Sunburst SummerSlam metallic green.
That's a good gear.
With his Sunburst Edge logo. And then his purple camo rated R.
The
gear.
Sunburst red velvet with the Brood.
Oh,
that was fucking good.
That
the
one
red and
was
gold.
good. Edge always has really good gear, but it's just this time period, he was just like, oh, fuck that.
Adam Copeland does not.
Yeah. How did they ruin Shelton Benjamin? How do you have Shelton Benjamin in the palm of your fucking hand and you piss him
that's
away?
like everyone's talking about the OVW class. Everyone forgets that fucking Shelton Benjamin was in that class. He was the first fucking call up. He was the greatest fucking call up out of all of them.
Yeah. He could have easily been in those positions.
I hate to play the race card, but like back then,
Oh, no, that's absolutely
I think
what
that's
it is.
all it fucking was.
That's
He was held
absolutely
down
what
by
it
his skin
is.
color, and it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible. It's disgusting.
Because you look at everyone else from that class, and you see how they got pivoted to the top.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
It's terrible.
Fucking horrible.
Awful. Fucking hate it. Speaking of fucking hating, Benoit's in this match. This isn't the Dickie Wabash ass call of the night, but this is a call that aged like fucking milk.
Okay.
Chris Benoit is referred to as the most respected man to dress in the Raw locker room. Sure.
Well, I do have my Dickie Wabash ass call tonight.
Yep.
Comparing their skin is like elephant skin to tissue paper, as Benoit is chopping the fuck out of Edge in the corner.
That is something that
did you know that Hill Edge back in this time frame? You know how to tell the difference between Hill and face Edge? White wrist tape and black wrist tape.
Really?
That's all he would ever fucking switch up.
Really?
Go back and watch some of his Hill shit in this era.
Damn.
He always had the black wrist tape. When he was the face, he had the white wrist tape.
Never noticed that.
Yep.
Never noticed that at all.
And this was also the weird era where Edge and Christian were no longer brothers.
Oh yeah, where they just kind of started fucking off on that whole thing.
JR almost slipped up and said brothers, but he caught himself and he's like, these two friends.
You want to talk about retconning? Like that's a big retcon.
Yeah.
They did right there, like changing history. There's one thing about this match specifically that I want to talk about, and I hope that you noticed it.
Is it the commercial break when
No.
Benoit's clearing house and JR is like, oh my God, Benoit's on top. How will this end? And I just got that dark sense of humor, and I was like, oh, Mr. JR, we know how this one ends.
Oh boy. No. Did you notice how weird Christian is running the ropes in this match?
No, I didn't pay
He's like
attention to
high
it.
stepping the entire time. Every time he gets whipped off, he's like high stepping. Boy, Jerry Lawler just could fucking give a shit less about the Golden Gophers. He just keeps shitting on him. He's like, let's quit talking about Golden Gophers. Let's talk about lingerie pillow fights. Woohoo! And it's just like, Jesus Christ, King.
There is two things that popped me in this match.
Yes, go on.
There is 2 twin kids in the like 4th row on the right side of the screen wearing their Fred Durst Yankees red hats.
Yeah.
I want to know if that's Aaron Atlas and Austin Ryan.
If it was Crash and Burn back in the day.
Yeah, because it kind of looked like him.
Could have been.
So I got to ask them that in person.
Yeah, did you guys go to Raw back in 04?
And Benoit yelling Hebe as he's throwing multiple German
He
suplexes.
was yelling Hebe. I wrote that down too. Shout out to Dalton. Get feeling better soon, my dude. 1 point, Edge and Christian go for a double team. Shelton moves and hits Edge with that damn whip. That whip kick that Shelton Benjamin
The dragon whip, dude.
The dragon whip kick, man. Tomko goes up for the distraction. Edge spears him off the apron. Christian cuts off Benoit. Cuts off Benoit's headbutt. Benoit kind of pushes him off. Shelton hits the T-bone suplex. Benoit comes off with a headbutt, a nasty looking fucking headbutt.
Which one?
Oh my God. Locks in the crossface. Christian taps out. Benoit and Sheldon walk away with the victory here.
I'm going to say it, Dickie.
Yeah.
Match of the night, brother.
Man, it is absolutely fucking match of the night. That's my match of the night.
Is this the first one we agreed on?
No, we've agreed maybe once or twice, but man, the intensity that these guys brought to this match, they didn't need to.
But they fucking brought
the
it.
Story that they were telling with Edge and Christian, like trying to get back in the driver's seat, like they haven't teamed in so long. Yeah, this
the
was
wild card Tomko.
Yeah, this is
as
definitely
the jealous
one,
boyfriend on the outside.
This is one that you guys definitely need to seek out and watch. This is a really good
Just
match.
for the psychology.
Yeah, right about the time of Christian tapping out, I was projectile vomiting. So, yeah, that's right about where we were. And now
we go backstage.
And Ric Flair is trying to get some girls to fuck Maven.
I thought those were the Godfather's hoes.
I know you, and I know you love hoes. That video's been making the rounds again. It's fucking hilarious. Of Godfather and Taker.
Yeah.
He tells him, he's like, Maven, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. You know, he gives him the 2 women of ill repute.
Now listen here, Nature Boy. When he gave me those girls, I knew I was in trouble.
Oh boy, Madrox.
Dude.
It is now time for the lingerie pillow fight. And here is my Dickie Wabash ass call of the night. Because all night, JR has been getting on King about being excited for this.
Yes.
He's like, how dare you be excited for this? You son of a bitch! How dare you be excited? Good old JR's horny now, too.
And the Viagra kicked in.
He said, and I quote, just because I'm on a diet doesn't mean I can't look at the menu.
That is a Dickie Wabash call.
Madrox, what the fuck is the point of this? Like, why?
Here's the point of this, because this gives us some fan interaction, brother.
Dude,
I want a fan to go and take a screenshot of the bed in the ring of this and a bed in the ring of the live sex celebration with Edge and Lita and tell me they're 2 different beds.
Dude, every time that we go back and do one of these old Raws, it makes me so grateful for the women's revolution.
Yes.
Because could you imagine if we were still in this era? Could you imagine fucking Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley in a fucking lingerie pillow fight? Like, what the fuck are we doing?
A lot of people would actually enjoy that.
Don't get me wrong. They probably would. But it's just like, goddamn, dude. But, like, I will give them this. This is no discredit to Christy Hemme or... I forgot who she even...
Stacy Keibler, brother.
Keibler. They're not the best workers.
No.
They were there to be the eye candy. I get that. But it's just like, they would always ham-handedly do one of these fucking segments, and I fucking hate it.
Well, I got something to slow the conversation down with right here.
Ooh.
Speaking of Stacy Keibler, sign of the night.
Ooh, what was it?
Baby killer.
Oh, for Snitsky?
I think it was for Stacy. That's what I'm claiming it for.
No, this was right after this.
I don't give a shit.
Okay.
This is what I'm claiming it for. I'm taking it back to WCW. I'm never letting her forget what she did to David Flair.
So I need people to remember this exact moment. because this is the first time in the history of professional wrestling that a wrestler is actually watching a TV normal. We cut back and Triple H is watching the lingerie pillow fight. Batista walks in and he says, man, Christy Hemme is hot. I'd fluff her pillows. It's like, game, what are you fucking talking about?
As
Batista,
we all know, he's married to Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah. Batista comes in and he's like, man, I've been thinking, oh, so that's why smoke's coming out of your ears. I'm kidding. Triple H does not let a joke rest in this entire segment.
No.
It's really fucking funny. Batista tells him, he's like, I was just wondering why you want Maven in Evolution. And Triple H is like, oh, don't worry, I got it all figured out. And he just keeps like fucking jabbing Batista and like making fun of how
setting up for the Rumble.
Setting up for the Rumble and setting up for that not heel turn, that face turn. And he just like, I'm just joking. And so yeah, that's pretty much it right there. Batista does not seem too happy that Triple H is talking to him that way, which how could you be?
Before you get too far along from the ass spanking contest that we just witnessed.
Oh yeah.
A -7 match of the night.
Oh, that's that. Yeah, that's the -7 of the night.
It shouldn't have to be said, but just to clarify it.
That's so much of the -7 that I didn't even bother to say it was the -7. So that's where we are here. Blue Nova's in the ring now.
Dude, I popped when I saw Simon Dean on my TV screen again.
Simon Dean. He's got his Simon system. He's in there with a guy that looks like a blonde Kevin Owens.
I thought it was Matt Winchester.
Could have been.
I honestly think it might be.
Could be. But I've already changed my mind because he looks like Bray Wyatt. Like a shaved down blonde Bray Wyatt. His name's Eric. He keeps calling him Fat Eric. And here's another Opie and Anthony reference. The second that he said Fat Eric, I went, hey. Good old E-Rock. E-Rock comment? Simon Dean gives him a Simon Dean protein bar, or Simon System protein bar, rather. And boy, did they really go above and beyond for this, because they actually like had packaging and like everything. Like this was legit shit.
I wish they would have. They missed an opportunity selling that shit.
God, dude, I would have bought it. He calls him Fat Eric. I'm sure Opie and Anthony fans were just howling at that comment. Rosie comes out for the cutoff. Simon Dean just flat out.
Hold on, dude. Hurricane's music hit and fucking Rosie came out. That pissed me off.
Yeah, I was expecting Hurricane. Yeah, I love Hurricane, man. Absolutely love Hurricane.
No disrespect to Rosie. Rosie was good, but he's no Hurricane.
Oh, yeah. Hurricane was another one that, like, man, if they would have just given Shane Helms, like when he was Gregory Helms, that was a good run.
Yes.
That was an incredible run.
That's my favorite run of his all time.
Oh, 100%. 100%. So he comes out and he's like, Rosie, you're not fat. He's gaslighting him. He's just like, oh, you're, no, actually, you know what? Yeah, you are fat. Offers him a protein bar. Rosie shoves the protein bar down Simon Dean's throat. He goes to charge at Simon Dean. Simon Dean pulls Fat Eric in front of him. Rosie just flat out kills Fat Eric. And that ends the segment.
Nope, he turns around and gets the protein powder.
My sincerest. Blinded with the protein powder. Rosie's pissed. Doesn't give a fuck about dead Fat Eric.
Dead Fat Eric.
It's now time for the SmackDown Rebound. And the funny thing about the SmackDown Rebound here, Madrox, is that this was the only way that I was able to watch SmackDown. Because I did not have UPN.
No.
So to me, SmackDown just didn't exist. Like all of this stuff that you hear about SmackDown, I was only able to really see what was going on SmackDown with fucking the
UPN
SmackDown
was
Rebound.
Such a weird channel to like have. Like I only think like one county in the whole state of Indiana had it.
Like that's weird. It was like a public access channel, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's weird, man. Fucking weird. It's the but anyway, the SmackDown Rebound.
It's the New Jack storyline, brother.
It's the New Jack storyline. That's what I wrote down, that New Jack was supposed to be involved in this. Basically, Carlito tried to murder John Cena. Talks about Carlito, his debut, wins the U.S. title. John Cena was stabbed in a nightclub.
Several times in the back and kidneys. And then he comes back 3 weeks later.
No scars.
No puncture marks. Not like plastic surgery is advanced.
Oh, absolutely it has. Plastic surgery has advanced. Just look at fucking Maven now. That was mean. So, yeah, they bring in Jesus. That's who stabbed John Cena. It was supposed to be New Jack. Boy, do I wish it was.
Oh, dude. Like, Jesus had no credibility. He came out there looking like a fucking neon Pinocchio.
Yeah, exactly. That's a very good way to put it, actually.
It is.
So, yeah, Cena came back at Survivor Series. No scars, no stitches, no nothing. Fucking Maven's been walking around with a fucking gig mark for 3 weeks. Fucking Cena gets puncture wounds and he's fine. Don't get it.
And if New Jack would have done it, he would have had Band-Aids.
I wanted that motherfucker to die. I got no love for John Cena because he's a fucking idiot. So they show screenshots of WWE.com. And oh boy, is that a fucking flashback right there. I remember that website when it looked like that.
I remember WWF.com the first time I ever got on it. There was just like upcoming show times, and then the roster page, and you click on the roster page and you pick on someone's picture, and then it popped up like a desktop wallpaper, and that's all it fucking was.
Yeah.
And you could download them and save them if you had 3 hours to spare.
Yeah, that era of WWE where I think we're still in this era right now. I don't remember seeing it where whenever the wrestler would come out to the ring, it would say The Rock, TheRock.com, or StoneColdSteveAustin.com, StoneCold.com.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't remember if they did that in this show or not.
And it all just led you to WWF.com.
Yeah. So Maven's back. He's dressed. You know, Benoit and Jericho come in. Like you're gonna do this, right? Like you're like, oh, I don't know. I'm really thinking about it. Benoit gets in his face. Starts telling him, he was like, you're getting a world title shot. It took me 18 years to get a world title shot. Do you know all the sacrifices that I had to make? All the sacrifices my family had to make? Whoops.
Whoa.
Whoops. Looking back on every single thing that Chris Benoit says on these, whoo boy, ages like milk. So that's like, because Maven asked him, he's like, do you think I should do it? And then that's when Benoit gets in his face and he's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. So that's pretty much it. They're trying to just talk him out of it.
This is my favorite part of every old school fucking Raw.
The WrestleMania Rewind?
Now, before that, we had the Clearasil Rewind.
Oh, yeah. The WWE Rewind, and it's just the finish of Survivor Series.
Yeah, and then we go to the WrestleMania Rewind.
Yep.
I love these back-to-back between commercial break fillers.
Yes.
Because that's what they used to do back in the day. If like they had a big thing planned for the main event, they would do like 30 seconds of on-air time and then go straight into commercials to make up for it so they could drag out that TV time.
Yep.
And it was always fucking back-to-back rewinds. Either
Love it.
Ram, Clearasil, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble.
1-800-CALL-COLLECT.
And that was WCW.
Was it?
Yeah. David
okay.
Arquette.
Oh, that's right. So the WrestleMania Rewind is talking about Brett. It's Brett and Shawn, the Iron Man match, which, I'm sorry, is the most boring wrestling match in the history of professional wrestling.
I've seen some more boring.
Fucking hate that Iron Man match. Let's hard truths, guys. Hard fucking truths. Let's just accept the fact that the WrestleMania 12 Iron Man match is not good. It's boring as fuck.
I prefer the Lawrence Taylor fucking WrestleMania main event over that.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't go that far.
I would. We had Money Inc. as Lumberjacks, brother, and Steve Mongo McMichael.
Guess who we get a vignette for now, Madrox?
Is it Muhammad Hassan?
Muhammad Hassan. And boy, they really did strap the rocket to this fucking guy.
He's with Uncle Akbar, period.
Uncle Akbar, period's here. We got Khosrow Davari, which I feel like Khosrow Davari, naming him Khosrow, is a rib on the Iron Sheik. Because the Iron Sheik's shoot name is Khosrow.
I thought that's why they did it.
Is that why they did it?
As a tribute to the Sheik.
It has to be. It has to be.
I mean, I found it funny because this whole vignette, he's like, yeah, my uncle's store has been here for this long and it's starting to close down after 9/11. And I'm just thinking, it's like, dude, your whole gimmick's going to get shut down quicker than your uncle's store, period.
No shit. No shit. They're in Connecticut, by the way. They film because you can see like a Connecticut lottery. So
they're in New York City, brother.
Oh yeah, they're in New York. So they probably just walked out of Titan Towers
to the nearest gas station.
Hey, do you mind if we film something real quick? You're his uncle, by the way. It's main event time. Triple H versus Maven. And now here is a weird take that I have about Triple H right now. Maybe it's just the era that I grew up in and was watching, and I don't know. This is a weird one for me to think. When I see the big gold belt, the first person I think of is Triple H. I always associate him with that belt. Some people might say Hogan with the NWO on it. Some people might say
Flair,
Sting. No, man. For me, it's Triple H.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Because you weren't really a WCW kid back in the day, though.
I mean, I was kind of down the middle. I was more of a WWF kid. Don't get me wrong. So Maven comes out. Trips tells him that now's the time. He says, I've thought long and hard about it, and I'm only down with one thing, being world champion.
You got to forget the part where Maven comes out and he's like, this dubbed over theme music is really not as bad as my theme music that I hate.
Was that dubbed over?
Yeah, that was dubbed over.
I didn't notice.
It was like some weird techno shit. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is even worse than the original.
So the match starts. Batista and Flair come out. So then Jericho and Benoit come out to back Maven up. So yeah, there's not going to be any.
How did the match start out, though?
Not going to be any involvement in this.
We're doing a podcast called Enough of This. How did the match start off, though?
How did the match start off?
You didn't take the notes, did you?
I didn't know. Was there something special?
Headlight, take a bump.
Oh, yeah, true. Fair. Love it. Maven's gear looks really fucking good in this match, by the way. You know, we talked about gear.
Better than Orton's.
Yeah, a lot of gear tonight was just really fucking on point. Like,
this whole era, a lot of gear was on point. You either had really good gear or really bad. There was no, like, in fucking between.
Never, ever. Batista gets thrown out after he gets caught attacking Maven. Flair's just kicked out just for the sake of being Ric Flair.
Did you notice Maven botched the fucking hip toss and Triple H had to save his life?
Yeah, he did.
I was like, this is Maven's biggest match of his career that he's ever going to have, and he's out here botching it multiple fucking times.
I wrote down Maven almost lands on his fucking head when Triple H breaks out of an abdominal stretch. This match is basically just Triple H greatest hits, but Benoit and Jericho keep stopping him.
Yes.
Like, that's all this match is. This is just a schmoz fest.
It was like a game of Pong.
Yeah. It's a really good
Triple
way.
H just kept bouncing off the baby faces.
Yeah, man. And Maven is just doing nothing in this match. Absolutely.
He could have went out there and proved his worth and stole the show, and I bet his career would have been a lot better, but he went out there and fucking shit the bed.
Yeah.
He did not live up to the pressure.
Yeah. So there was a spot that I'm pretty sure was botched a little bit here. Whenever Orton put Maven's foot on the rope, or not, I don't know why I said Orton. Jericho. Whenever Jericho put Maven's foot on the rope, he was holding the foot there, and the referee turned around and saw it. And I don't think the referee was supposed to see that.
I couldn't fucking tell you.
Who cares?
Jericho did get thrown out, though.
Yeah, well, Jericho's getting thrown out by the referee. Benoit comes in, fucks Triple H up.
With another sick fucking diving headbutt.
Oh, my God. As he's attacking...
CTE is fucking real, and he proved it in one night.
He proved it in a couple of years as well, too. That was bad. So, Triple H is getting fucked up by Benoit. Here comes Edge. He attacks Benoit. Benoit moves. He spears the ref. We've now got a ref bump. Flair and Batista come back. They give Triple H the belt. He's about to hit Maven with it. Here comes Randy Orton. Fucking hits Triple H with the belt. Maven drapes Maven's body over. 1, 2. Flair pulls the ref. What a fucking falsy, dude. What a fucking falsy.
That was a good falsy and all, but like, this was the most WCW type finish for a Raw ever.
Yeah, I put that this is some serious Hulk Hogan bullshit. I gotta look strong out there, brother. So here comes Snitsky. He boots Maven, and then Maven gets hit with a pedigree. 1, 2, 3. Overbooked as fuck, but a fun watch.
Okay, in this match, did Maven look strong at all?
No.
fucking Jericho and Benoit out there doing all this shit?
No,
Did it make Triple H look strong having all this interference on his behalf?
Yes, because look at what all it took to try, because I know where you're going with this. You're going to try to make it seem like that it made Triple H look weak. I disagree with you.
I don't.
Because, well, hang on, because there was a little bit of time where it was just Triple H against the three of them, and Triple H fought them off very well. So to me, that's making it look like, man, Triple H, you look fucking OP right now, man.
I know, but I just feel like this match didn't benefit either fucking one of them.
It benefited Triple H more.
I agree to that part. Like, Maven did fucking nothing. Like,
Maven did nothing.
It did nothing for fucking him. Like, even these backstage segments he did, I give him a B+ at best for those.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like he was lost throughout the fucking night. But this match out there, like, he crumbled under fucking pressure. And
yeah, he did.
It's bad when there's a main event going on, and after the show ends, the little WWF pops up in the corner. My biggest takeaway is, I wonder who the fuck broke Randy Orton's nose.
Mine too. Randy Orton comes in with a fucking bloody nose.
Right at the very end, I'm like, when the fuck did this happen?
Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows?
And like, that's sad when you just watched a World Heavyweight Championship match. Like, that shouldn't be your fucking takeaway, but that's what left me guessing.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, oh my God, I want to see a round 2 of this, or I wonder what's next. I was like, who the fuck broke Randy Orton's nose?
Yeah, like I said, this was a very schmozzy fucking match. But of course, this was the Reign of Terror era, for, as many people call it, the Reign of Terror for Triple H.
This was like Starrcade 96.
Yeah, to a certain degree, which is only time that you'll have Maven talked about and compared to Sting. This was a good Raw. This was a good Raw.
It was all right.
I give it, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5.
I gave it a 2.5.
2.5? Right in the middle?
Right in the middle. Like, it wasn't nothing big, it wasn't nothing major, but I felt like even at best, it still wasn't a popcorn Raw.
It was not
like
a
the one
Raw.
after in the Envision pay-per-view, that was a popcorn Raw.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that one. But like, this one was just like we don't know what the fuck we're doing tonight. This is who we got. Let's just throw everything against the wall.
It did feel like that, didn't it?
Yes.
Like I said, I'm going to give it a 3. I want to give it a 1 because where I was during this time, because as this main event was going on, I was hating life.
I mean, honestly, I would have given it a 0.5 if it wasn't for that tag match.
Really?
Yeah.
That tag match was good. That tag match was definitely match of
I
the
think
night.
that's what saved it.
Yeah. And this fucking world title match was fun to watch. It was just overbooked as fuck.
It was WCW.
You had to know what it was. But here's the difference. WCW would have done that on a pay-per-view. This was just a throwaway Raw.
Yep.
So
that's true.
So that's why I give it a 3.
Not impressed, slightly let down. No tarantula. They led me on with the Hurricanes music.
That will do it. That will, in fact, do it.
Even though I knew he was on SmackDown at the time, but
Was he?
yeah.
Had they split them at this point?
Yeah.
Damn. That's bullshit.
What do you think? What the fuck was the other Law Resistance member?
Sylvain Grand? No, Rene Dupree.
Rene Dupree wasn't there.
Oh. Didn't he?
Because remember, they wanted Batista to go to SmackDown and challenge for their world champion over Triple H and Randy Orton.
To challenge JBL?
Yeah.
Oh. I vaguely remember that. Because I was still watching Weekly at this time.
I think
so.
this was after the second draft.
It had to be because the first draft was in 02.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a fun one to go back and rewatch and review. The draft.
The Raw draft.
The Raw draft. That was a good episode of Raw.
The only one you need to fucking review on that, though, is the backstage things, because those were legit, and that was the best part.
No shit. So, all right, guys, you heard it. Michael Madrox gives it a 2.5 out of 5. I give it a 3.5. This is, of course, the November 15th. Was that 15th or 14th?
Yes, 15th.
No, yeah, November 15th of 04, Monday Night Raw. I mean, you can watch it if you want. Definitely go out of your way to watch that tag match because it's really fucking good. You got 4 incredible fucking workers.
I wonder
in
if
there
Benoit and Benjamin have more matches out there that we haven't seen.
I don't know, but they made a really good combination. So, all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Again, we do sincerely apologize for the scheduling and the timing of all of this. Just, you can't control Mother Nature. You just can't. So with that being said, because our schedules are a little bit fucked up, you know, and things aren't working well. There's not going to be a paid show following this episode, but here's what we will do. This Thursday, you are going to get an hour-long paid show. Minimum to make it up to all of you Patreon backers. We just don't have, we're very hard pressed right now to even get this one out. So there's not going to be a paid show following this one. I sincerely apologize, Patreon members. But like I said, we will have an hour-long paid show, and then also to make it up to the Patreon supporters as well, we are going to put an exclusive MadBash Wrestling Uncut up on the Patreon at the $5 tier. This match was going to wait until we did something else with it, but we're going to put up Chris Cutler versus the Luminary.
Oh,
yeah, we're going to go ahead and put that up for you guys on the Patreon. Be looking for that coming up soon. Like I said, you know, shit happens, and we can't really control what goes on.
We got more storms coming tonight, brother.
Supposed to, so fingers crossed on that one. So, all right, guys, you can check me out on Instagram at DW_mischievous_rabbit, madbashstudios.com. Leave us those 5-star reviews, do all of that. For those of you on the Patreon, sorry, again, no paid ski, but we're going to have an hour-long one next week, this coming Thursday. And then we're going to be putting Uncut up there for you. So, yeah, we'll see you down the line on some form of content.
Bye, guys.